looming from the seemingly empty space, as always confronts our hero with terms and tales from beyond the veil. This time it's monsters, and entries from the creature companion are up next. And now it's time for hexen, so turn off your lights.
That monster, waiting in the dark for you to do the wrong thing. Under your bed, or lurking beneath a dark stairway. The moment you misbehave, the boggle is poised with anticipation to clobber and maim with its hulking strength. Now I suspect the creature is mutant. It's humanoid. Its occupation seems to be similar to the fighter. Perhaps Korax melded together warriors and zapped them with dark magic into a repulsive monster. Skin that's hard and more like armor than actual flesh, that's thick and covered in protruding spikes or barbs. Its visage is one of bare rage. Sharp-nailed teeth riddle its jaws. Massive and exceedingly strong, it heaves large crushing weapons that it uses to sunder its victims. And hell, I don't know, they might even try clobbering a slew of bread mush on the floor. Etten, the Alton, the Bogeyman. This lurker is embodied in tales throughout mankind into its deepest past. It really just wants one thing: to destroy. Allow your agility to outshine these slow and dim-witted henchmen. If you keep away from their crushing blows, defeating these foes shouldn't prove too difficult for such a well-traveled hero such as yourself. Meticulous in its plans for skullduggery, the Afrita known to be wily and deprive a profound sense of pleasure from trickery and mayhem. The thieves of confidence, manipulators of facts, sultans of sadism, fluttering with draconic wings, wreathing themselves in flame, darting to and fro while emitting hails of fiery projectiles. These are the Afrita. A demon or spirit found in the hidden places, sometimes promising power and riches to those who would wish to pledge their soul in exchange. Desirous thoughts, wishes are spoken, and the Ifrit, the Jinn, the Imp, will gleefully comply with exploiting any shortcoming and misconstrued aspect to produce a less than ideal outcome for the wisher. However, this is the fire's bread and butter. Many mages have fallen prey in particular. They are free and mysterious and do have extreme power in the beyond normal domain. They charm and entice the eager. Their element is the consuming flame. Some say the Ifrit actually changes form from time to time and place to place. Don't ignore them for their apparent demeanor as lowly annoyances. They can set ablaze to any hope, and will gloat over the smoldering remains of your dreams. Dispatch them quickly and with tact. There are more monsters to deal with that are even more dangerous, and you never want one of these ambush beings to capitalize on a poorly exposed flank. Now this isn't one of the friendly horsemen you'd hope to encounter. an overgrown lizard, horns protruding its head and spikes coursing down its spine and tail, hard scales covering a muscular frame, a maw full of sharp teeth, and a bite force that would put a tiger to shame. These are the chaos serpents, blazing red eyes, hungry for mayhem, scan and surveil for something to scorch and rend to bits. It's theorized that the serpent riders allied themselves with this ancient race of dragon-like creatures to gain their untold power. It's true that many are mere agents within their armies, but older and more powerful serpents are said to steer the course of events across entire worlds. The ones encountered by the hero are generally beasts that have no ambition but to devour and maim on a base level, and it's likely these are ones who have been conditioned to be unthinking monsters of rank and file for some past transgression of their superiors. You'll see a couple variants in Cronos, a green serpent whose breath weapon is combusting fire projectiles, and a brown serpent that belches a green acid combustion, each equally deadly. At close range you will rend with talons and chomp with those vicious jaws. It's essentially a dragon, not much else to do but slay or be slain. called reavers, clothed in ritualistically flayed and dismembered bodies, adorned with pieces of armor they once used, likely in their fight against the Dark Lords when they drew breath among the living. Ghostly mutterings come from the shambles that were once intrepid sojourners. It isn't enough that they are horrifying just on sight. Demonic forearms are grafted on, and their large palms conduct hellfire to blast foes to a char, or entrap in a vampiric clutch that drains the very life away. In places where high-ranking officers of the Servant Riders' armies dwell, expect to find legions of waiting reavers, and never linger, for they will keep coming no matter how many you slay. The power source for the necromantic energies that binds them must be destroyed for them to cease being a bother.
Okay, well, story time's been great. I know a bunch of facts that will help put me to sleep. These hexfiles are full of much yapping, and these pesky minions ain't gonna stand up to my heavy buckshot or plasma rifle. Tell me about their boss, damn it. What about Korax? What about their leaders? Where do I find the bastards so I can end this stupid game for good?
In time, my dear John, in time. I will tell you about the corrupted leaders and Korax the next time. For now, take this time to reflect on how to battle these monsters, and it won't be with your usual trusted weaponry.
What do you mean?
In hexen, like I stated before, you will have to choose a class and find and master its weapons scattered throughout your journey in Cronos.
Just perfect. About telling me where to find the weaponry to fight these monsters.
In time, my boy.
Just show me the portal to Hexen, and I'll get this done myself.
All in time.